6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's a hat trick! Yes! Finally. Since 2019, Iosi Perez against Southampton or Demba Ba against Stoke away was the last hat trick we had away from home. We have finally got Alexander Isak, the great, his hat trick. And what was an absolute superb team performance yesterday. So happy to be discussing it with Dan and John, who are in the background. Dan's just done his little dance off, and John's sipping some beer, I think. Ches says, hi all, please remember to keep comments respectful. Super chats are available. Bottom right-hand corner, donate if you want to. It's entirely up to you. The money pays for the channel, then the rest goes to charity if we've got something left over. And yeah, become a member. It really helps. Ches, Leslie, Roger, great to see you all. TV loaded, paused, Die Hard. Now that is commitment. I wouldn't pause Die Hard for myself. It's a cracking movie. I love it. Evening, lads and lasses. Evening, Peter. Hope you're well. If your name is Peter, I know it's Peter Griffin, but there we go. Lee's in the house as well. Roger's still there. Gary's in the house, recovering. Daniel, great to see you. Hope you're all right, mate. Caitlin and Nick's in the house as well. I'm not too sure which one it is. I hope your luck has continued over the weekend. I was pleased to share the win on the channel. Always brings good luck. Not always. I know you've got your own secret little private chat, and these watch-alongs have been very, very detrimental to Newcastle results recently. It's the first time I've done one when we've won for ages. Die Hard is certainly a Christmas movie. I will not have anybody tell me anything other than that. I love it. Right. Let's get the guys in. Let's start with John. John, how are we doing?
Hey, I need my buddy Dan on here.
It's coming. It's coming. We'll do one at a time.
Okay. All right.
Is that whiskey in your Coke can, or is it just Coke?
No, it's just Coke.
Oh,
my stomach's still not the same.
Is it not?
Yeah, but I'm all right. I'm all right. It's wins like that yesterday that just keep me going, man. Best thing to make you feel good.
Love it. Love it. Dad, Santa.
I'm wearing my hat trick.
There you go. You got 3 hats on?
Good evening, lads.
Oh, good. I love it. Wow, where'd you get that? Oh, it's got your logo on the front. I love it.
I'll have pockets full of them when I come over. So
brilliant.
If you see me on the street and you say, hey, you're Super Fan Dan, you get a pin.
All right.
It's a challenge to me. How many do I hand out in a particular day? So there you are. How are you? Good to see you, lads.
Very good.
Good to see you.
Very cold because the missus just opened the back door to put stuff in the washing machine, and a draft of coldness has come in. It's getting cold, lad. So yes, I did say it was very mild, but it's now starting to get cold.
Good deal.
The players have certainly had conversations behind closed doors because the last 3 games we've been ruthless. This is why I've always been backing Eddie Howe, because you can't blame Eddie Howe for the players not performing on the pitch, not putting the ball in the back of the net. Yes, he also has a say on how he handles it, and he's obviously handled it brilliantly. We'll just leave it at that. Right, yesterday's game obviously marks massive respect for a former great for both teams, Sir Bobby Robson. He was on the front of the program as well. You know, there's a lot of respect between both sets of fans. Both have, I think we have a very good relationship with Ipswich Town. We don't have any malice against them or hate or anything like that. Not at all. We shared one of the greatest managers to ever manage the game, in my opinion, you know, because he did it in other countries, which certain managers didn't. And he was just probably the greatest man I've ever not had the pleasure to meet, which I'm very disappointed with
Well,
myself.
same here, Bez. And I'm jealous of Dan because
Yeah.
him and his wife, they both got to meet Sir Bobby Robson.
He was a beautiful, beautiful man, a true
Yeah.
Geordie gentleman if there ever was.
And what a wonderful visit you guys had. That was terrific to hear about.
My favorite interaction was he asked me where we were sitting, and I said in bar 1892. He said, "Look for me. I'll be wearing a black and white shirt." And he just the grin on his face was like, "Right, I'll be looking for you." He was a splendid man. Splendid.
He was. Nick, thank you very much. He did promise to do a donation, and you've done it. Well done. He's waiting on you and Bettis for another £100. Fingers crossed for you, mate. He was so unlucky. He had Newcastle -4 and Usyk to win on decision. And obviously, when Dan Burn was offside, that killed his bet because we needed to win 5-0, not 4-0. So unlucky, mate. And I know this isn't the boxing show, but Usyk deserved to win last night. He was I had him 2 rounds up on the card, so no complaints from me, even though the media seemed to be blowing it out of proportion as they always do. Well, Usyk was the winner.
While we were on the subject of Ipswich and Newcastle, I want to give a shout out to my good friend Frank Yallop, former Monterey Bay Football Club manager, twice MLS Coach of the Year for the San Jose Earthquakes back at the beginning of the 21st century, but also Ipswich through and through. Bobby Robson signed him for the club back when he joined for the academy. He was 16. So just a shout out to Frank, because I know that Frank and his family were on a flight to Vancouver to go visit his mom for the holidays, and he missed the match. Else he would have come and watched it with us at the Brass Tap in Marina. But he landed and he said, "I know Dan's smiling." So shout out to Frank and Karen and Jack and Sam and everybody in the Yallop family.
Love it. Can he scrap though, Gary? I thought it was a great fight, but anyway, back to the football. There was a lovely tribute to Newcastle from an Ipswich fan. I just want to read it out. Newcastle, without question, the best footballing side we've seen this season. We didn't have an answer. See their management not constantly in the officials' ears. As for their supporters, simply the best. Good luck to you. Sir Bobby would be proud. And he goes on and says he wishes, basically we didn't have to play each other and get beat, and we beat them. It was just nice. Let's have a look to see how the team played. This is what we do now. We look at stuff like this. Joe Willett got a 6.3. I was very surprised at that. I didn't think Joe Willett played that badly. But again, you've got to be careful with stats, because these stats sometimes aren't what we see ourselves on our eye. Obviously, Jacob Murphy gets an 8.9 because he gets assists and a goal. But was he really a 9 out of 10 through the whole game? Probably not. I would probably give him a 7 out of 10. He had a good game. Isak gets a 9 out of 6. Probably should be given 10 out of 10 personally, but it's just how it's measured. Bruno
Ronnie Gill gave him a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you get your hat trick, you've got to get 10 out of 10, haven't you? Really, you've certainly done your job.
I'd have given Hall a little bit more than 7.4.
Yeah, Hall was excellent as well. I thought he was brilliant. Dan Burn was excellent. He gets 7.5. Again, stats are. I like looking at them because you see how many duels they've been involved with in their passing accuracy and things like that. But again, it all goes off what you watch as well and what you see. And Joe Willock certainly wasn't a 6.3 for me, but there you go. Tino seems to be the one as well at the back line. It never seems to get into a 7. And I have noticed, when you look at Lewis Hall going forward, he looks brilliant. He looks solid in defence. Then you've got Tino, who sometimes gets himself out of position. When he's going forward, he's not as, I don't know, he's direct, but he just doesn't seem to have that final pass like Lewis Hall does. Yeah. And that shows in the assists, because Lewis Hall's got a few assists this season. So
trepidatious is what I would say to Tino. he just looks, when he goes forward, he looks unsure. He wants to go forward. He wants to go forward and do overlaps and maybe cut inside like he sees Lewis Hall doing. But he's when he goes forward, he always goes to the end line, to try and get a crossover, and he doesn't have the speed to get back as fast as he needs to. So I have not been upset when I've seen Tino's number come up on the board for Trippier to come in and replace him. I have not been upset at that at all, because I think he's doing great. He's still learning. Maybe there's a certain element of I'll use the word again, trepidation. Maybe he doesn't want to overexert himself and injure himself again. He was out for 18 months with an ACL. So, maybe there's a little bit of weariness or wariness to run forward. So I don't know.
Yeah, I hope he's not putting pressure on himself to kind of compete like Hall does, and match him, because stay within yourself, Tino. I think he's a good player, and I'm happy that we have him. But you do notice a difference when, especially recently, when Trippier comes on. He's back to kind of being Trips,
Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously the other thing is J7 was missing for Willock. Obviously J7's back next week. As long as his wounds have healed, would you put him straight back into the side for Joe Willock, or would you stick with the same?
No, I would give Joe Willock a rest, simply to keep him fresh. We're going to need him over the next week. So if J7's able to play, if that ear injury that he got in the last match has healed, for me, J7 goes right back in the side.
And we're obviously happy with the rest of the team. We've got to obviously mention Martin Dubravka pulled off one decent save in the game. Didn't have a lot to do, but doesn't the defense look a hell of a lot more assured now that we've got a goalkeeper who can play with his feet?
There's been a lot of talk in all of the message boards, all the social media, saying that you can see that Martin Dubravka's distribution and his assurity with his feet are something that have completely calmed the defense down. I guess there's an unspoken that if Nick Pope is going to play with his feet, all of a sudden everybody's falling back rather than moving forward. But at the same time, Pope's throw is phenomenal. He can throw half the field, so half the pitch. So but I think Dubs has been fantastic the last two games. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we're going to miss a guy if he does go in January. I mean, we'll take the money, but we will miss having him as a backup, because he works really good together with the team.
Yep.
But it's all right if you're not conceding a lot of shots. The one thing that I know Pope does better than Dubravka is, if Dubravka was in goal against Spurs and Southampton, we don't win those games.
Yeah.
Because he's not saving those two efforts that Pope saved.
Pope is a much better shot stopper. Absolutely.
Yeah. But things have changed. Things have changed up front. I mean, with Tonali and Bruno sorting out their roles now, the ball's up forward. And if we score early, he's got less to worry about. Changes the whole game.
He has, but like I say, it's okay now at the moment while we're stopping teams from coming on to us. But when we've got teams like a Liverpool coming on to us, who would you rather have in goal, Dubravka or Pope? Yeah. That's, Pope gets a lot of stick. I don't see why he deserves it. I don't get it, but
can we play them both?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll play Dubs as sweeper. There you go. We'll play Dubs as a sweeper. We'll go to a back three. We'll play Dubs as the sweeper, and then we'll put Pope in goal. We just tell Dubs he can't use his hands. Don't use your hands, mate. Just use your feet.
Or better yet, throw the gloves back and forth between the two and let them play.
There you go. Your turn. No, your turn.
It was brilliant. It was great to get off to a fast start as well yesterday, wasn't it? I mean, when Shaw pinged that ball down the right-hand side to Murphy and he got through, I was thinking, is he offside? Is he onside? I wasn't sure, so the game ran on. He crossed it, took a deflection, fell to Isak perfectly. His finish was stunning because he had to keep it down.
Yeah,
it was coming up to him and he hit it after 23 seconds. We're ahead. The perfect start. but it took
we missed the goal
3
because
minutes.
I was still setting up the TVs in the pub. I had just done my score prediction out in front of the pub. I brought the TVs in, got them set up, and before we had even had a chance to turn on the big screen to put our match on, it was already 1-0. It was like, what the hell did we miss? Oh, yeah. Fantastic start.
But it took 3 minutes for them to decide it was a goal.
Yeah.
3 minutes. That is why semi-automated offside should be in the game, because that could have been cleared up very quickly. Then they started to look at it, was it a handball? They were trying everything they could to rule out the goal, and in the end they couldn't, and it stood, and it was like, oh, right, brilliant. But the good thing is we didn't take our foot off the gas, did we? We kept on going at them. We kept on trying. And the second goal was brilliant as well. I mean, Bruno was just absolutely superb for the second goal, because the way he read the situation where the keeper was going to play it out of defence into that midfielder, and Bruno was just right on him straight away. I thought he was going to give a foul, the referee, but when you watch it again, it's nowhere near a foul. And Isak puts the keeper on his backside and he puts it in the back of the net, and he's got his second. And then his third.
If I may, Murphy, I think we said a couple of episodes ago that Murphy was due a purple patch, that he was coming into his own, that he may not be the right wing solution we need, but he's the one we have. And we've seen him play better than Almiron. We've seen him get involved more. We've seen him become more vocal on the pitch. So just his movement for Isak's first goal, then his support capabilities with Tino on the right. Just he's really stepped up. I don't know if it's been done on the practice pitch. I don't know if it's been done. I don't know if Eddie's pulled him aside and had a word in his ear. But he's for me, Murphy has been one of the most improved players over the last month.
He has, and again, it's always there. We always know it's coming, but then when it disappears, it's very frustrating to watch him. That's the problem. And like I say, I don't hate Murphy. I think he's a good squad player to have. Even John, hope you're well. But he's not the answer to the right wing for 38 games of a season. That's what we've been saying. We don't criticize him. We don't, throw him out in social media and say he's crap and blah, 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 blah. We just know his limitations.
Yeah, but he's starting to look really comfortable with himself out there. And the other guys, I think the other guys are comfortable with him over there now. I hope he can keep it up, though.
We'll come to something soon which will make you laugh, which made me laugh, to be fair, when I was doing the watch along. We'll talk about Isak's third goal, because Murphy plays a massive part in it, obviously. I have heard this, but I've also heard there's nothing happening, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Murphy gets the ball inside the box. He's got 4 players round him and digs out a back heel, which finds Isak brilliantly. But Isak's touch and then his stab down finish with a very little backlift was absolutely superb. And that's when I went nuts, because it's a hat-trick. We've got a hat-trick.
Yeah.
I've been saying he's going to get a hat-trick for God knows how long.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it's been almost 6 years. Holy moly.
You know what's funny on social media? You see other guys, other fans from other teams going, What is this? They've got a better striker than us. Newcastle shouldn't have a better striker than us. We got to get that guy. And it's
oh God, yeah. Have you seen that Everton Lee, whatever he's called, the wind-up merchant? Maybe he wants to come to Everton because they're debt-free, and I was just like, come on.
Hey, I had to send that to my Everton mate. I was just like, not a chance, mate.
He was really good. He was really good before he had the hat trick yesterday, and now all of a sudden,
he was.
Now all of a sudden they're noticing him.
But they've been noticing for a long time. It's just he had a little bit of this dry spell. The team had a dry spell, didn't they? Really?
Yes.
And now he's been scoring almost every game. He comes back into the talking point again for Arsenal and Chelsea and all this kind of rubbish. But Isak said after the game, we've been playing so much better lately, and it's been showing in the results. It's been a long time coming for Newcastle. My first one, hat-trick here. I am buzzing. There was pictures of him taking the ball back, strapped in his car seat with the seatbelt over it and all that sort of stuff. Great stuff from Isak, but he's so important, isn't he?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he's a superb player, and he's only going to get better. He's not even in his prime yet, and
Very
I think
close.
that's why the Gooners and the Chelseas and all that, they're all salivating, because Arsenal have been missing a player of an Henry type player, and we can see what Isak can do with the ball. We saw it against Everton when he dribbled through half the team in order to get an assist over to Murphy. He's growing leaps and bounds with each season. Just this morning, I watched a YouTube video that had his 46 goals so far for Newcastle in all competitions. Yeah. And just watching them, you're just sitting there going, look at how much better he gets game after game after game. So it just,
To me, he's deadly as a striker, but also the way he handles the ball before he gets the open shot, it's just incredible. He danced around so many people in the last few games. Fun to watch, really.
Oh, he's brilliant to watch. And you mentioned about the all-time goal scoring list, and this is in the Premier League, not all-time as in every, all competitions, as in before the Premier League was announced, because obviously there'd be Jackie Milburn in there and Len White and all them lot. Peter Beardsley would also have I think it was 104 goals he scored for us. Not what they got him down as, 47, I think it is, Peter Beardsley, yeah. And again, he's on 41. He only needs 6 more goals to catch Callum Wilson, who's in second for Premier League goals. Obviously, he's never catching Alan Shearer.
Yeah, the thing that stuck out.
If he stays with us for a decade, come on now.
Yeah.
Never say never.
It's a big if, isn't it? Now, I'm under no illusion he could stay for us for a very long time, but I'm also under no illusion if we don't progress as much as we would like to, he could go somewhere else, couldn't he? But I'm enjoying it while we have him, because he is literally a generational talent for me.
Baz, do you have the list of all-time leading goal scorers in a single calendar year stat? I saw that pop up on social media during the match as well.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
So in a calendar year, obviously the leader is Alan Shearer. He has 27 goals over a calendar year. So that's January 24 to December 24. Yeah. Alan Shearer has 47. I think Andy Cole was in second with 24. Peter Beardsley, I think, was 23. And Isak is now tied or Cole and Beardsley were tied for 24 or something like that. All I'm saying is that Isak only needs 4 goals in the next 2 games to tie Shearer's record.
Yeah.
Of 27 in a single year.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I didn't see that. That is very interesting. I think I might have went past it by mistake, but there were so many things online that were going through at the match at the time. It's hard to keep up with everything, isn't it?
Indeed.
But,
you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about this this list that's up right here is Andy Cole, 58 games, only 58 games, 43 goals. That's
he was
amazing.
Superb. He was absolutely superb for us, and we sold him in that January window.
I know.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help.
But I obviously Isak's going to be in second place by the end of the season, 100%. There's no way he's not scoring less than 6 goals for the rest of the season. He's absolutely superb. The other thing I thought was funny, obviously, we've all seen Alexander Isak and the dog lead with all the clubs on it.
Yeah.
Just for Ipswich, just Mr. Ed Sheeran. I thought this was absolutely hilarious, so I had to steal it and put it on. Brilliant stuff.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
It is very good, isn't it? We mentioned about Jacob Murphy. This made me laugh. So Jacob Murphy, as soon as he hears Newcastle is in for a market for a right winger,
oh God,
turns himself into George Best, and he puts in performances where you think, why are we in for a right winger?
Yeah, well, let's just keep it up.
Well, I mean, if you see any stats recently this season, they put it in the group. I didn't get a chance to put them on here. Oh, where is it? No, that's about
They're
tomorrow.
phenomenal. He's turned into something else. And again, I don't know if Howe has taken him aside. I don't know if Tyndall has taken him aside. Maybe it's Graham Jones. Did you see Graham Jones put his arm around Calvin Phillips last night?
Oh no, I didn't know.
No.
After the match, he went over and put his arm around Calvin Phillips. There was a tweet or something that said, he said, "Come to Newcastle, we'll make you better again." You know,
Wow.
I mean, it was something. I mean, Graham Jones is effusive with his care and
Coaching.
you know, coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it after every match. He grabs at least 3 or 4 players as they're exiting the pitch and puts his arm around them and pops them on the chest and says, "Well done," something like that. I've criticized Jones earlier in the year, saying, what is he doing if he's not doing set pieces? If he's the man manager, if all he's doing is he knows when to put a boot up the backside or put an arm around a player and tell him that was fantastic or something like that, it's working a treat. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, they're obviously doing. We don't get to see what they do in the training ground, do we? But we all know that they're doing something because look at the results. I mean, it speaks volumes, doesn't it?
I have a lot of respect for that guy because he was, he stood in for a game or two after, before Eddie came on, and he had to watch it all go forward. Luckily, we kept him, and he's kind of like third level guy now with Tyndall and Eddie in front of him. So, and he's kept his, just good soldier.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously a very good coach.
On his face at all times.
It's why he was brought in over Steve Bruce, because he came in. Mike Ashley brought him in, basically. 2-1 Juve. Go on, Juve. Can't even walk in a straight line, but I'm best on spiral. Okay. So Jacob Murphy, 2022-23, 36 games, 4 goals, 2 assists. 2023-24, 21 matches, 3 goals, 7 assists. 24-25, 14 matches so far, 3 goals, 5 assists. So he's 2 assists away from equaling his best season for us already. Wow. He's 7 less games as well. So like I said, he always seems to turn it on and then it turns off, and it takes a while to turn back on again, doesn't it? So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I mean,
are those all-time stats or are those just Premier League stats? Are those league stats? I
think they're just league stats. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think so. He still has a job to do in 2 cup competitions.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
This is why I'm saying I wouldn't sell him, because he does a job. He's someone who. And some people say I don't like having players who are happy to sit on the bench, but Jacob Murphy's happy to be at Newcastle. He's a Newcastle fan, and I think he'll do what he's told. He's not someone who'll cause trouble. Yes, you will be upset that he's not playing, but you'll also understand it. Do you know what I mean? And you'll know that you'll get his chance when it happens.
Yeah. You need guys like that. You really need them.
Yep.
Exactly. Of course you do. It's the only way you win titles and win cup competitions, if you've got a strong squad and the players who are back up know that they're back up and they know when they're needed, they've got to perform and they'll do their best. That's what they do.
Go ahead. Nope. Go ahead.
All right. Before we jump on to the next bit, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button. Consider becoming a member. Don't forget about Diacro, absolutely amazing sponsor. We're going to give away a $40 gift card at some point this month. Code BAZ20 for 20% off. The link is in the description. We've also got football prizes. We've got an amazing competition which ends on Tuesday the 24th at 7:30. It's an Alan Shearer signed LED light framed shirt, but there's also a chance to win an Andy Cole boot, Peter Beardsley top, Tino Asprilla top, Gaza top, Rob Air top, and a couple of scarves. So it's an amazing competition. Only 499 tickets. It's worth a shot. Link is in the description. And then the final one is you're going to get to see these 2 boys live on the 16th of January. Doors open at 7, £10 a ticket. Email superfandan831@gmail.com for tickets. Still over half sold?
Still over half, yep. But it hasn't. We've ticked 1. Simon down in LA got me yesterday and said he needed to add a +1. So we've got about 20 tickets left. So
Brilliant.
Good.
get out there. I'm still going to personally invite a couple of our mates over there in Newcastle, some family friends that we've known for 20 plus years. So I want to make sure that they're there that night. So I need to reach out to them and see if they're coming. So, but yeah, just hit me up, superfandan831@gmail.com. If you're interested in going, you can pay on the night, or that is also my PayPal handle as well. So we can take care of payment as we go. So
yeah. That's the other thing about Murphy. He took his goal very, very well. He has got an absolute hit on him. It's just we don't see it enough, and we don't see it. He likes to hit the crossbar in the post a lot. Luckily, this one hit the crossbar and went in.
Yeah.
I have to ask about the celebration though, Baz. I wonder if he was taking the mick out of the crowd by doing the Jamie Tart, both thumbs back to his name, and he had that shitty grin on his face, like, I know what I'm doing. I'm just making fun. So
yeah, Jamie, Jamie,
exactly. But he didn't. He wasn't going me.
Yeah.
He taking the piss, and it was great.
It was brilliant. I think he did get a bit of backlash with his year one, the talking thing and things like that. I don't think he should have done that personally, especially for a player whose form dips in and out a lot. You've got to take criticism sometimes, as long as it's constructive criticism and not insults. Yeah. I thought
it was funny. I personally thought it was funny.
It was.
There we go.
There's the celebration. Santa's back in the picture.
Yep. There he is, down in the bottom left and bottom right. I think the most important.
Another Santa.
I think I think the most important aspect of that photo was look who's dead center.
Yes, Trips again.
Here. Yeah,
did you see him right behind him?
Did you see him hand off the armband?
Yep.
Tonali's in the middle as well. He handed off. He took the armband with no problems. Some people have said he hasn't in the past. Bonds is in there as well.
A nice embrace too.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's great to see that, the backroom staff are there. Bonds is in the picture. He gets to all the games. I think it's fabulous that we still do this and still put it out there, to be honest with you. I think it's great.
I would love to go to the training ground and walk down the halls, because apparently that's where all of them are.
Yeah, where all the pictures are. Yeah, they're going to run out of room soon.
Exactly.
We got to go incognito, Dan. We got to get in there.
What they need to do. What they need to do for the future is buy a place like an art gallery where they can just put all those pictures up on the wall, so all Newcastle fans can pay an entry fee to go and look at them.
Yep, agreed. That would
more way of making money for PSR. But you could see we outclassed Ipswich. I mean, I felt sorry for them a little bit. They were like lambs to the slower. Missing Delap, you could tell was a big miss for them. I think if he plays, I think they would have scored yesterday.
Yeah.
Especially some of the balls that whipped in that were very dangerous.
I like the look of Chaplin. I thought Chaplin did pretty well for them yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't think Calvin Phillips did anything when he came on. I think that's at this point.
Yeah. But I mean, we absolutely battered them 15-7 on target. I think one of the things that we are starting to do with our shots on target now is we're starting to convert a lot of them, and we're starting to be more clinical. Possession was brilliant as well. Outpassed them by 199 passes. I mean, that's crazy. A little bit less than that, actually. Passing accuracy 87%, so good. Just a great team performance. A massive shout out to the away support.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was the talk of the pub yesterday. Was holy crap! Like, how cold is it? Look at the rain slating down, and look at this guy.
It was absolutely hammering it down. I can't believe he was. I mean, who lets these guys out?
Well, I have to believe that this lad here is going to be under the weather for Christmas. He's going to have a touch of cold, I bet.
Yes, I would think so. Crazy.
Either that or his blood was 90% alcohol and he was completely bulletproof. So,
they ought to do
one, isn't there?
They ought to do a before and after. Like, that's him at the game. Yeah. What does he look like on the coach ride back?
The way home.
Is he huddled in the corner, just like freezing?
They put him in the baggage bin down below.
You have the shivers and the shakes and everything. That lad.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Right. Let's talk about Bruno. His heat map. I mean, he obviously plays on that sort of right side of midfield. He was everywhere, though. This is his heat map since he joined in the Premier League.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Which is crazy.
I'm sorry.
looks like a butterfly.
Yeah.
It does. But I mean, is there a blade of grass on a pitch that he hasn't touched?
Not much.
Holy
I would
crap.
say he's like the earth. Most of it's covered in water and the rest is covered by Bruno.
Yep, exactly. Holy moly.
But look at the firsts. First in goal participations, 35. First in goals, 17. First in successful dribbles, 161. First in duels, 743. First in fouls suffered, 288. Second in assists, 18. Second in decisive passes, 136. And a hot map.
Really? Yeah.
Holy moly.
Superb. And that pass, that someone's mentioned it in the comments already, and I don't know if you can remember it, but it was when it was on the hard volley from one side to the pitch to the other to Gordon, and it was just pinpoint. I thought that was Bruno's best performance.
Yeah.
I thought he was superb, and he was my man of the match. I don't know about you guys. Would you
Yep.
say Bruno's man of the match? Would you go with someone else?
100%. Nope. Bruno is it.
It would be difficult. It would be difficult to pick. I think Tonali does a lot just to anchor the team. And it's let Bruno play a different game, and it's just been a joy to watch them both.
But they both do it, though. They both anchor at times to take it in turns.
They do. They do.
You know, and
Rorschach.
Yeah.
Rorschach test.
Yeah.
But I thought
There you go,
Bruno was just brilliant, especially the way that he ended up pressing for that goal for Isak to get it and to tap it in the bottom corner.
You know, he contested. He not only busted up the play, he actually tapped it right to him. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know how he just moves so quick when his feet are so quick with the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it was just the anticipation. And he's always said, I'm not the best player in the world, but what makes him stand above everyone else is his intelligence, his awareness, and his dedication to the game.
You know
I
what
really
I
appreciate.
You know
his
what
attitude.
I thought of. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Oh no, I really appreciate his attitude and him just being a fun guy to be, on the team, and I love it.
We were talking about it the other day, Baz.
Oh man,
that cross-field volley reminded me of Didi Hamann to Louis Saha. We talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, it was that kind of a pass that just, it's one of those ones that sticks in your memory. It's going to be there forever now. It just, what a thing.
It would have been better if a goal came out of it. And I am going to ruin everyone by saying there is a better pass out there, and we have all seen it. There is one better pass. Willock, Spurs, Isak.
Oh, that was gold.
Yeah,
exactly. That pass,
the outside of his right foot. Oof, hooked it.
I will never forget that pass for the rest of my life. It was one of those passes, and
Isak was surprised by it. It was like, how did you do that? How did you?
It was on a plate. It was on a platter for him.
Yeah.
I reckon he was actually had his hands on his head when the ball got to his feet, going, "Oh, wow, got to score now." And that was just,
don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. Don't screw it up.
Yeah, honestly, wow. I will never forget that. Even Ipswich fans applauded the pass. Yeah, it was brilliant, mate. Don't get me wrong, but Willock's pass was better.
Yep.
And the reason why it was better is because it was outside of the foot on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Split the defense open, and Isak ran through and scored, and that's why it's better.
That pass was world class.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And we know that
he did it again, didn't he? He nearly did it again in a home game.
Wasn't that the Tottenham game?
Yeah. That was
when he did it,
yes.
Which was scored 5 in 21 minutes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Outside of the right boot on the left-hand side. I just
it was just inch perfect. We spoke about Murphy, and again, we'll just touch on it very quickly. We don't criticize him and say shit. We just analyze performances, and sometimes Murphy's performance just isn't quite there. But we've got to enjoy what we're seeing at the moment, because, like Dan said, one of the reasons why Murphy is flourishing is because the left-hand side is so dangerous. They're forgetting about Murphy on the right-hand side because they're trying to double up on Gordon, double up on Isak, and then the players are now so intelligent. The reason why Murphy scored his goal is because Gordon ran through 4 defenders from the left-hand side into the box, and then saw Murphy was free, give it to him, one touch, bang, it was in the back of the net. And Murphy's enjoying that little bit of extra freedom now, because he's not asked to create, he's asked to actually go and finish. Because you can see it in our gameplay. Everything goes down the left-hand side. So he knows he's getting in the box to be a finisher, not a creator. And obviously the back heel was superb as well. Don't get me wrong. But I think he's enjoying the fact that he now gets a little bit of extra space that he wasn't getting when Trips was playing and Bruno and everything was going down the right-hand side. He was thinking, I'm potentially not good enough to get past all these players. But now it's all going down the left-hand side and everyone's sort of over there. He's just holding his line, thinking, I'm going to get a chance here. And he is.
He's a foil. His job is to finish what the left-hand side does if given the opportunity. And he is starting to turn all of those opportunities into successes. And that's the best part. I was concerned that he was going to be cursed with the 23 jersey. You know what I mean? I didn't think about that for a while. Shola had the 23 jersey for a decade, and we all love Shola. You know, and there are those that
we loved him on Derby Day.
Well, you know, they would call it shit. You know, they would say he was inconsistent. Yeah, you know, people are saying the same thing about Murphy, but when you need him to do something, I'm thrilled to say that he's going to do it. And yeah, we loved Shola on Derby Day because he always came up on that one.
He
So
did.
big ups.
We used to always have the funny joke with the break glass when Derby Day, you know, with Shola picture on it and all that sort of stuff. You know, yes, we'll touch on this.
We'll have to show the Dire Crow T-shirt again.
Yes, the Mackham Slayer. We'll touch on the substitutes. I was a little bit disappointed we didn't see Asula, and one of the reasons why I was so disappointed we didn't see him is because we didn't hear his song.
Well, I think I was like everybody else. I was just surprised when Miggy came in. I thought perfect time for Osula to go in, you know, and get the minutes and let us see what he's about. Because we've seen little snippets and it looks good. It looks like that is a powerful gentleman who is running around, and I think he can make things happen.
Nobody wants to see him get confused with Bruno and J7 though, because they've all gone to the same hairdresser.
Yeah. So is John.
I did too.
Sing it one more time. I'm not singing again. I've sang it enough. It made me laugh when I heard it for the first time when I was in the crowd, and I'm thinking that is just how can a player not realize that's been sung about him and not actually laugh at it, because it's just so funny. It's brilliant. The Nikos Davies was brilliant as well. It is Christmas. It is, yeah. How many times have we moaned about Eddie not playing new players? He always seems to get it right. He does, and don't get me wrong, but the subs were still good. But I would have liked to see. I mean, Isak came off though, so I can't complain. You can't complain about the substitutes when the player you wanted rested came off, but he just chose a different donation. I'll donate £5 for a Baz.
Come on, Baz.
You may have to give us a rendition, mate. Especially the Yanks.
Jesus, man. Do 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 do.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. Sula.
I think it's great.
Never heard so to tequila.
Right.
Yeah, tequila.
Right.
It's a Sula at the
That's
end.
fantastic.
Honestly, that's why I was laughing
great.
so
It's
much
great.
at it. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And the other brilliant one.
I've heard it a couple of times. I've never heard that one. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's great.
Wednesday night, Brentford, that's when it was sung, and I literally couldn't stop laughing. I was literally creasing at it. And then the next one, the even better one, was Feliz Navidad. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Nikos Davies, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I was like, oh my God, that is brilliant. That was absolutely
That's
brilliant.
funny.
Oh, honestly,
Nico Dabizas.
Yeah.
Nico Dabizas.
it just
I
works.
screwed that one up.
And
I
how
hope we see him
people
again.
come up with these things, I just don't get it. He has been back at the club. I think he's done one of the tours, hasn't he? Like one of the special tour things you can buy.
He was at the hospitality night that we were at against Brighton back in May of 23.
Right.
He was the special guest and came into the hospitality suite.
There you go. It's
What
nice
do
to
you mean,
get
Des? You don't understand how people think these things through? It's hitting the beers.
A bit of gargle. Yep.
It's true. I mean, Tonali's got 3 songs now, hasn't he? It's crazy.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Well done, Andy. I got 2 songs in there, so that's a tenner.
There you go.
Oh, man, no, definitely
That's
not.
a free pint for me at the talk-in. That's it. That's all.
Yes.
I'm taking that one.
Yeah, he has definitely been back recently. I thought he had. But just obviously to point out, this is how it's going to end this year, or how much we've raised so far, which I still think is absolutely incredible. By next year, I reckon we'll have that very close to being over 10,000, because we've got the talk-in to do, and then we'll also have the charity football match again for Stanley Deaf Club and Kieran's deaf football team. So hopefully we'll raise quite a bit of money doing that again. So thank you to everyone on the channel, because it's not possible for you guys to do it without buying tickets from us, without donating, without being members. So a massive shout out to everyone who still does it. So yeah, so absolutely brilliant. What's this? I want the second one again. I missed the second one.
Nico Dabizas. Nico Dabizas. Nico Dabizas.
You are definitely not getting a dance. Right, let's get back to football stuff. Let's get back to the serious stuff. All these Eddie Howe guys, right? It's been driving me nuts, because last 10 games, won 6, drawn 2, lost 2. We've beaten Chelsea, Arsenal, Forest, drew with Liverpool. We've gotten to a semi-final of a cup with 2 points off 5th, scored 23 goals. And then you still get people saying, well, he deserved to be criticised and deserved to have the Eddie Howe out stuff. I'm like, no. He's allowed constructive criticism. But having this bipolar response every single time we lose a game, saying, it's time for him to go. He's this, he's that, he's this. And then next week we win. Everyone's quiet. And then the week after we lose. He's got to go. He's got to go. We've got to learn that football is a game that we will lose matches. We can't win every game. I mean, we've lost games when we've deserved to win, and we've won games when we deserve to lose. That's football. This season is crazy. I mean, look at Man United, just got thumped at home to Bournemouth today. You've got Fulham drawn with Southampton 0-0 at home. Fulham have been fantastic this season. Chelsea drawn at Everton. Spurs 6-3 against Liverpool today. Spursy. It's absolutely incredible. But this, to all you already had, it's going to keep coming up until people start putting a bit of respect on his name again, because he's got a lot of, you said this, Dan, he's got a lot of credit in the bank, hasn't he?
He does. I agree with you, Baz. I can't see how anybody can take with any seriousness that Eddie Howe's got to go. On that score, Pep Guardiola should have been out 5 weeks ago.
Exactly.
And they signed him to a 2-year extension.
Andy, there are fans in Man City that are so fickle, and obviously new fans who are saying Pep needs to leave. It's crazy what that man's done for that football club, and it just reminds me of us. We're in the same situation. We need a share song. I'm sure there'll be one. I've seen other NFC channels on the Eddie Howe train. The moment we lose is pathetic. We will lose games. This is the Premier League. Do you know what the problem is? I don't like to talk about other channels and slag them off and stuff like that, but I'm going to say it. They do it for clicks. It's as simple as that. They want those people to start watching their channel to get the clicks, to get this, to get it. I took my blue tick away for a massive reason on Twitter. I don't like Elon Musk. And I was also sick of being told that you're only doing this because you want clicks. It's not. It's my opinion. I want to put my opinion somewhere and discuss about football. if you tell me Eddie Howe deserves to be out, I'll like a decent reasoning, not because we lost one football game. It's crazy. And there's so many people out there who will want to get on that train because it thinks it'll help them get their views up and get their clicks up and stuff like that.
And I'll back you up there one step further, Baz. Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yes.
I know that was pre-Premier League. You know, if you go back and look at his record, his first 3-4 seasons at Man U were shit. And he was given the time. They believed in him. The board believed in his capabilities. You can see that our board is behind Eddie Howe 100%.
Yeah.
You know, so my feelings are, why can't Eddie Howe be our manager of a generation? Go ahead, John. Sorry.
No. All good words, Dan. No, I think you get rid of Eddie Howe, you're dismantling the whole project.
Yeah.
All of them, all the support staff, all the coaching. It's ridiculous to even mention it. I think it's not only people trying to get clicks. I think there's some people in the press that are just happy to tear us down. They're just happy to tear this team down. They don't want the Northeast team to dominate, and they're worried about it. And so every so often they'll throw a little hand grenade in there and try to disrupt it.
And it's always when we're on a good run, isn't it? It's always when things are starting to pick up, like Craig Hope did it. And I'm going to mention his name because he does it all the time.
Yeah.
We were literally just starting to get a decent momentum. And then he threw a hand grenade in, and it's just like, why have you done that?
Yep.
And he got a lot of backlash for it, which he fully deserved.
You know, we've given up 1 goal in 3 games. We could have had 3 clean sheets in a row. I mean, that's how good we are when we're really focused and playing as a team.
Yeah, absolutely love it. But it just frustrates me. It really does. And the other thing,
optimist.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I was younger, again, very lucky social media really wasn't around then. Facebook was probably around, but I didn't really use it that much. But I think now with social media, I think it's too easy for people to have terrible opinions, and then run on the back of it. You know, someone says one word wrong or something like that, boom, everyone jumps on you.
Right.
And it's too easy. It's ridiculous. People just need to learn just to take a step back sometimes. You know, we get beat, give it 24 hours, let it sink in, watch the game again, watch the highlights, whatever you want to do. Listen to the experts, what they're saying as well, and see if it matches up on your opinion. And then have your say. But this whole sack the manager stuff, just because we lose a football game, is ridiculous. We would have been through 50 managers by now if we had that attitude.
Oh, yeah.
And let's face it, changing the manager doesn't always work. Just look down the road at Man United. Look how poor they are.
They're so disjointed, and I never want to be that kind of club.
Exactly.
They are a mess top to bottom.
All right, so you touched on that just for kicks and giggles. Would you take Rashford?
Rafa back now? No.
No. Would you take Rashford?
Oh, Rashford. Sorry. I love Rashford. I think there's a massive player in there, but I would take him, but we can't afford him.
We can't afford him, especially his wages.
Yeah, but I would
my
take
feelings
him.
are the mentality is still going to suffer. I think he needs to take a break. I think he needs
Eddie Howe with an arm around his shoulder and sorts it out.
Yeah, but it would take 6 months to get him on the right track, I think.
Can we get
Sorry, what?
No. No, not happening, Andy. I can't sing for shit. TalkSport delete a message about Tonali leaving after we started playing well. Exactly. This is what I mean. It's just, Tonali's leaving because of this and that. He's never said he wanted to leave. Bruno was leaving to Man City. Come out and said straight away, no, I'm not. You know, they're there for clicks. They're there because they've got a job to do. They're there because they want to get people like us to ring in on a 15p, 20p a minute phone line to try and slate them for having their stupid opinion on our football club when they don't know anything. Rashford's still a great player. There's something not quite right there. We know it's not, but I would definitely take him. But he's on 320,000 a week, so it's not happening, Andy. We don't have time to make a song, to be honest with you, mate. The other thing I was going to say is that, have you watched the Simon Jordan Eddie Howe interview?
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're an Eddie Howe out guy and you're watching the show, which you're probably not, you probably don't really give a crap, you need to watch that, because he even says in there that when he did his interview, when he got the job, when he was discussed about the project, they said, you're the man for this project. You're going to see it through. You know, there will be bumps in the road. And Eddie Howe completely understands the PSR situation. And this is why the owners are going to stick with him and back him, because he knows the club inside out. So people have got to realize this, that our owners are backing and not listening to the noise. They're backing Eddie Howe to the hill. And so they should.
Can you point to Eddie Howe signing that has not worked out? Look at what he's done with the players that he inherited.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Look at J7. Look at Cher. Look at Dubravka. Look at the players that Eddie Howe has brought in. Has any one of them not done the business?
They've been
It depends
great.
what level of business we're talking about. So there's a couple of players that spring to mind where maybe they've done a good job, but not an excellent job. Like I'll go with Chris Wood. I thought he did a good job.
He did the job that he was bought for.
Yeah, he did a good job.
He's now showing, not enforced, what he can do.
Yeah, but he did a good job. I wouldn't say he did an excellent job. He did a good job. And then Target did a good job, an excellent job for a while, but now he's just dropped off the radar. Yeah. So I think Target's probably the only failure, especially the amount of money that he's on.
Yeah. Okay.
The jury is out on Kelly as well at the moment. We all thought that was a great signing, but we've not seen enough of him, and what we have seen of him hasn't been fantastic so far. So the jury's out on him. But everybody else, brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see Osula come good. I really, truly believe
that. Again, jury's out on him, but it's too early to have a say on him. And again, he was bought for £15 million. So what do you expect? Yeah. He's kind of down the Chris Wood situation for me. Because I think he'll do a good job. I don't think he'll ever be an outstanding player. But again, he plays for his international under 21 team, so we just don't know, do we?
We lost 10 million on Chris Wood, but I would say that was the price of doing business. We weakened the Burnley. We weakened the Burnley team that were in a relegation fight amongst us.
Right.
We brought in a guy who could score goals that we needed because we didn't have anybody who could. You know, so for us to turn around after 18 months and sign him, sell him for 15 million to a promoted club who had the money to spend, you know,
it was brilliant. It worked out perfectly.
Stopgap measure, it worked out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just looking at Bruno, Tonali, Dan Burn,
Lewis
Hall.
Yep. Oh, they've all been wonderful.
Gordon Barnes, I guess, is another one that's potentially a strange signing.
And you know what? He hasn't picked a prima donna yet. You know, we don't need a guy that thinks he's too big and can't fit in with the team. He gets guys in and makes them work with the team. It's been great.
Gary, you're 100% on. Yep.
Yeah. And again, not every signing is going to work out perfectly. And this is why we've got to be very clever in the transfer market when we're making signings, because we have to always get it right 8 or 9 times out of 10. But when you look at City and Man United and Chelsea, who can just keep buying and buying and buying, they only need to get it right 5 times out of 10. We've got to get it right almost every time. That's the problem we're dealing with because of PSR. So it's a tough one. Like I said, I always backed Chris Wood. I always felt sorry for him. I always thought he did a good job. He did what was asked of him. And again, we had no striker at the time because Wilson was injured. So he had to come in.
And Nuno is getting his best now. He's playing to his strengths.
He is, yeah.
And he has a certain young lad named Anderson behind him. So, you know, there's that as well.
I miss those two guys.
He's got wingers who love putting the ball in the box as well. So it's a complete different style of football because we don't really do that. Right. League table time. It looks a hell of a lot better than what it did. We were in 7th, but obviously Bournemouth had an absolute fantastic result at Old Trafford and now 5th. Forest is still in 4th, which is, I mean, look at those two teams.
That's fantastic. It really is neat.
And of course, I said in my video, obviously people have took this completely differently the wrong way. I don't know if I said it wrong, but I said, or thought I said, If you told me at the start of the season that we would be 1 point behind Man City and we'd be sitting in seventh, because seventh at the time, I would have laughed at you because I would have thought we would be second. Now, I don't think that's a crazy thing to say because at the start of the season, everyone thought Man City would win the league again.
Yep.
So at this stage of the season, I did not expect us to be 1 point behind Man City, and then to see us sitting in eighth it's crazy, isn't it? When you think about it.
Yep.
But again, we're literally 4 points off 5 points off fourth place.
Yep.
Are Forest and Bournemouth going to be able to keep this up? We don't know. I mean, are Villa going to fall off again because they're obviously very hit and miss? And we've got a 6-pointer on Boxing Day, haven't we? Because we're playing Villa.
Yep.
Or is Man City gonna all of a sudden get it together towards the end? Who knows?
It depends what they do in January, I guess.
Yeah, they've looked really weak.
For me, the sides that have impressed me so far this season have been Fulham, Bournemouth, and Forest. And for the romantic in me, I'm thrilled to see teams that are not talked about on every single episode of Sky Sports, for teams that are not mentioned in every talk, call-in show and everything. I love seeing that. The Leicester City 2016 championship was wonderful, and a wonderful advertisement for football, for Premier League football. On any given Saturday, on any given Sunday, a team can run away with it, and Leicester City proved that they could do that. So I'm just thrilled to see teams that aren't the top six cartel up in that mix. I love it. Just love it.
Right there with you, Dan. Exactly.
I mean, it's a crazy season so far. Spurs aren't even in that list. Man United aren't even in that list. Chelsea have pulled it together. I mean, it's got to be quite easy when you spend over £1 billion. You should be up there. It's interesting. Liverpool, great result today. I honestly thought Spurs might have had a bit of. Yeah, it's definitely more than Rodri being missing at City. They're missing quite a few players, but something's not right there. They're the same team going forward.
In Manchester.
Well, it's when they get to the edge of the box, they seem clueless to what they used to be. It's crazy.
What the hell happened to Phil Foden?
Yeah, he just seems to have fallen off. I mean, again, he scored yesterday, but we got lucky because of a lucky break in the box.
Roger,
let's
revel in the fact
it's a Manchester thing. I love it. But again, we've got our act together. And we said this 3 weeks ago, didn't we? I said, if we can spring 3 results together, we'd be knocking on the door top 4 again. And we are. It's exactly what's happening, how we thought it would happen. We would get our act together. We spring in some results together. If we beat Villa on Boxing Day, which is a huge game, I fancy us at St. James's Park. We have got a great chance of going above them by a point, and then we could be sitting in 6th on Boxing Day, and that is great. And then we've also got a few more tough games. We can come out of them being undefeated, even if we throw a draw in there, it's still going to be a fantastic end to the year. And then we look forward to January, look forward to our show, look forward to speaking to Luke Edwards, look forward to a few results because we have Bournemouth at St. James's Park. We also have...
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, and we have Brentford at St. James's Park as well. So we've got a potential of getting 6 points in the space of 4 days there as well. And we've got a lovely FA Cup tie to go to, John, in Bromley.
You guys are going to have a blast.
Yes.
Really looking forward to it. But again, like I say, Merry Christmas to everyone. Actually, before we end the show, just come on. We've got a show tomorrow. I've got a gentleman coming on who used to work for ITV, I think it was. I can't remember. I need to find his name again. It's Elton Wellsbury.
Okay.
He used to work in football, as in like he was a commentator or something along those lines until Sky Sports came into play. So it was a long time ago. He's got a book out as well, which I'm looking forward to having a little nosy at. And I'm interested in interviewing him, asking him some questions about what it's like doing that job and what happened and all this sort of stuff. And then we've got an even better show scheduled for the 27th. Just got it confirmed today with Henry Winter, the Newcastle United commentator for the radio on the matches. He's coming on the 27th, and that is after the Boxing Day game, obviously. So we'll be discussing the game, and then we'll also be discussing Henry himself about what it's like to commentate for Newcastle and his all-time 11 and all this sort of stuff. So we've got some great shows lined up. Keep an eye out for them all. But I will see most of you tomorrow night. We do need to do a look ahead to Boxing Day. I don't know how I'm going to do that now because we are running out of time. It's nearly Christmas. My kids, they better be fucking happy. Yeah, we had Santa knock on the door today and see the kids. It was quite funny.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a fun day. I'm just got to do a bit of rapping, really. But yeah, everyone's happy. Anything else we need to talk about before we go? I think we covered everything, haven't we?
Hey, I was really happy to see Miley get into the game. I'm looking forward to him getting back on track. And Botman is next, and gosh, we could be powerful. We could be powerful.
And Miley looked very good, very fit, very strong.
Yeah.
Looked like a massive unit, didn't he, in that midfield?
I still can't believe how much he's grown in the time he's been out. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah. He's huge, isn't he? I didn't realize he was that tall.
I'm looking forward to the rest of the festive fixtures. I'm most importantly, I'm looking forward to seeing you two lot in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
so
can't wait for
looking good. Yep.
Can't wait, Dan. Can't wait.
Me too. It's like yes. Lots of beers. Right.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Again, Merry Christmas to all our viewers who might not tune in tomorrow. But thank you for your support over this year. It's been absolutely amazing. Support from you two have been fantastic as well. And Yin as well, who obviously couldn't make it tonight. And everybody else like Gary and Lindsay and everyone else who's been on the shows in the past has been amazing. Really
Leslie, Andy, Gary,
Leslie,
Roger, Peter Griffin.
Gary, yeah, everyone.
Say hi to Stewie and Lois for us.
I wanted to kill you since the day I left your wretched room. Oh, I love Stewie Griffin. Love it. Love it. Lewis, Mama,
love you guys.
Mama,
Happy
Mom,
Christmas.
Mama. What? Hi. Right. Thank you, everyone.
Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and find the Graham Norton show when what's his name? The guy who does all the voices.
Yes, I know who you mean. I forgot his name.
Look at that one, because when he does the cool clip thing with it's Stewie's voice, but then he does the Taken speech as Kermit the Frog. That just killed me. Oh my God, that was funny.
I'll definitely have to find that. Brilliant. Right. Ta-ra, everyone.